Menopausal and perimenopausal women, listen up. It's time to take control of your health and comfort, and Winona is here to help. Winona is a telemedicine company for menopause care who believes that your symptoms are real, important, and deserve to be taken seriously. And for many women, this starts with hormone replacement therapy. Winona's HRT is made with plant-based, bioidentical hormones rather than synthetic ones, so it better aligns with your body to offer relief from hot flashes, weight gain, and other uncomfortable symptoms. 80% of women who use Winona find relief within just 90 days. So, what are you waiting for? Get started today. Visit buywinona.com today to start your free visit. With free shipping and the ability to pause or cancel at any time, your path to wellness has zero obligations. Use code SPRING24 at buywinona.com for 25% off your first treatment plan. That's BYWINONA.com for 25% off. Winona, menopause care made easy. Summer is the season of hot temperatures, outdoor adventures, and refreshing water activities. Summer is also the season of rough on your feet, causing dry, cracked heels and toes. Introducing Babyfoot, the original exfoliation foot peel that contains 16 natural extracts formulated to remove dead skin cells in 3 easy steps. Apply the booties, relax for an hour, then wash your feet. In 14 days, you've got baby smooth skin and your feet have never been softer. Letting dead skin cells build up over time is hazardous to your foot health. Our professional-grade DIY products, like our original exfoliation foot peel, our men's foot peel, or our moisturizing mask, are some of the best foot care products on the market, created with your foot health in mind. Pamper yourself with a spa day from the comfort and convenience of your own home with Babyfoot. If you want a chemical-free, easy-to-use exfoliating process from the company that created the original foot peel, it's time to treat yourself to Babyfoot. Go to babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24 and get 20% off your first order with Babyfoot. That's babyfoot.com and use the code SUMMERFEET24.
Hello and welcome to Too Stupid to Live, a podcast that reviews romance novels $5 and under. I'm your host, Becky Feldman, and today you're gonna stan today's guest. Yes, I said stan. I think that's the first time I ever said that word. Basically, I'm trying to make like a nerd slash geek reference, based on the theme of today's book. But the truth is, I realized I'm not even cool enough to be a nerd. But my point today is that today's episode is a riot where we are reviewing the geek girl romance Level Up by Kathy Yardley, which is currently $3.99. So my guest today, you are going to effing love her. It's Liz Donatelli, who is the host of the YouTube show Reader Seeks Romance, which if you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. It is so delightful. So it's crazy how the discussion of romance novels and the romance novel reader community has been making its way to more visual mediums, especially with TikTok. I'm honestly, I sound like I sound like I'm saying did you guys know that human beings and all animals breathe air? I know I'm stating the obvious, but this is all to say that if you are a romance fan and you are a visual creative, you love media, you love film, there is a very exciting opportunity happening. The Jane Austen Society of North America Southwest region is sponsoring the Young Filmmakers Contest. It's a short film contest open to all North American amateur filmmakers under the age of 30. Films must be 5 minutes or less, and it should be adapted from or inspired by Jane Austen's writing or life. Winners get a cash prize, a 1-year membership to Jasna, and feedback on your short film from an amazing panel of judges. These judges are awesome. There's Amy Heckerling, who is the writer and director of Clueless, Gurinder Chadha, which is the director and producer of Bend It Like Beckham and Bride and Prejudice, and much more. So don't wait. This contest is a great opportunity for first-time filmmakers. The deadline to enter is October 1st, and you can find more information at jasnasw.com. So guys, without further ado, please enjoy this review of Level Up. All right, well, Liz Donatelli, welcome to Too Stupid to Live.
I am a super fan and I am beyond excited to be here.
I am oh my God, I hope I don't disappoint her.
No, that's been my concern, is that I will disappoint you and I'll be
No.
known as like the worst guest ever.
No. Because like I watched your YouTube show and I was like, I am so excited to get her on the show. Like, I love your voice. I love your energy. Like, I'm just like, she's going to be an amazing guest.
Oh, see, now I am nervous. All right, let's just end this here.
Yeah, we're done. Because I just feel like we're like, I'm nervous to like, we're like nervous. We have the same nerves for the other person. And then we're just going to like combust in a pile of nerves.
Are you a Virgo by any chance?
No, I'm Aquarius.
Okay. I don't know much about Aquarius, but
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
I know, just based on who I am, I guess Aquariuses they're just a mess.
Okay.
Just a mess.
Because Virgos are usually very, high strung, or not to say you're high strung, but get nervous and express nerves. I was like, oh, maybe she's a Virgo.
I mean, I'm like, was raised Jewish. Maybe that has something to do. I don't know.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
A Jewish Aquarius is equal to a Virgo.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's what I think. Well, look, we're getting some conclusions out. Like, this is great. What are you a Virgo? Are you like into astrology and stuff?
Not into astrology, but my family has always been into, oh, he's this sign, oh, she's that sign. And we always believe there's a lot of truth in, your horoscope.
Yeah.
We're Italian, and I feel like we've got some superstitious gypsy ways about us. And I actually have a tattoo of the Virgo of my horoscope. My birthday is actually August 28th.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm a Virgo through and through.
Cool. That's very cool. Well, okay. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about your show. Well, first let's get the spiel out. You were born, and then what happened? You were born, you have a show on YouTube.
Wow, I didn't think you were going to go back
everything.
Okay, well, originally I'm from the Bronx. I was a radio DJ in college. I wanted to work in television, write in television, which I wasn't able to get work at when I graduated, but eventually it led me to Los Angeles. So I've been in Los Angeles for 17 years, and I'm going to be turning 45. So I don't know, you do the math. I was a broadcast major, I've been able to kind of use that in creating my YouTube show. And the reason I didn't mention what happened after college is because or LA, I never got into writing for a television show, which I think is pretty much a common goal when you move out to LA. So
everyone says that. Like, even people who are like, not like, not TV writers are like, I have an idea for a show. You're like, great.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've heard that so many times. It's not a cliche. Everybody you meet has written a script, has a script in progress, knows someone who wrote a script, knows someone who optioned a film. So that is true. But no, it didn't. I quickly realized this isn't for me. So then I just stayed in advertising, which is what I've worked in, and then became a publicist. And then I worked at a bookstore, and then I went back to publicity and decided to start Reader Seeks Romance because I'm happiest when I'm connected to the book world. And I really want an excuse to talk to authors. And I've been so isolated with quarantine, especially, being in LA, we've been really, we were truly locked down, whereas the rest of the country, they weren't as strict. So, the show's also a product of my loneliness.
I get that. I started this podcast for the same reason. There wasn't even a quarantine when I started.
I understand. Because I've worked from home for a number of years, minus working at a bookstore for a year. So it's just, and also I prefer to be kind of alone, but then it does get lonely, So I've been enjoying, again, being part of the book world and talking with authors, and I entertain myself. I do graphics and audio with each episode. That to me, I only do it to make me laugh. I don't really care if anyone else finds it funny. So I'm just, this is all about me, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, no, I get it because like I feel like, listen, I'm the same way. I will say watching your show, it made me laugh, and it's like, okay, listen, you've reached I know it was just for you. You reached me too. Like I love the editing. I love the music, the kind of images that come up. I feel like I'm gonna sound like a person who has never watched TV before or something, but like it's just like so impressive of these like cute, like 15-minute like nuggets of like fun you've interviewed authors, you talk to other people in the romance world, and yeah, why not, instead of me summarizing it, why don't you tell everyone like a little bit about it? How did you come up with the idea for it, and why you chose doing like a YouTube show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. I've always been kind of self-conscious about my voice. And this goes back to college. I was identified as having a regional dialect, even though I went to college in a school that was about 20 minutes outside of the Bronx. I was told that I had a regional dialect and I had to get rid of it or I would not be taken seriously. Meanwhile, I was also a radio DJ for the college station. So I had to take these workshops, and I told him, I said, listen, I know how to speak correctly. I just don't choose to. I mean, this is just, we speak in abbreviated fashion when you're in New York. So I've always kind of been a little like self-conscious. So to me, people can accept or enjoy my voice better if they see my hand motions and my faces, because then I think it makes sense, or they can maybe excuse if I sound whiny or So that's why I decided to use a video and audio medium. Like I mentioned, I was really craving being part of the book world again, and romance has always been a genre that excites me. And I find romance authors really fascinating. And many of them were previously lawyers before becoming romance novelists. Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that, like lawyers and then like publicists are working in advertising.
Yes. So I enjoy, speaking with people who talk my language. So I agonized over whether or not I should even do this, because I'm like, I don't know, it's going to take up a lot of time. What if nobody cares? And I was like, what the fuck?
Sure. Yeah. But you had some great guests on it. I mean, I feel like it's really blown up.
Yes. Thank you. I've had, let's see, Lissa K. Adams, Mia Sosa. I just recently had Farah Roshan. I had Sarah McLean. This week I've talked with, Kelly Reynolds, who I think you know from Boobies and Newbies podcast, co-hosted with me. We spoke to author Suzanne Park. Oh my God, there's been Julia London, Rebecca Weatherspoon, Ava Lee. I mean, there's been a ton. Some of them I knew just from the LA book scene. And then the others, I reached out on my own or went through publicists. So yeah, it's really cool. And I love scheduling and I love putting together a show and editing, and it's just, I'm firing on all cylinders. So.
Yeah. Well, that's so cool. It seems like you've like really found like you're in the zone. Like, I feel like a lot of people, like even with like a podcast, like don't know, like it's not just recording. You have to edit, you have to promote it, you have to do all this stuff. And so I feel like you knowing it and you being in the zone of like just must be just so like satisfying for you.
Yes, it is. And I feel like I'm finally putting my broadcast degree to use, because a lot of that was taking video editing classes. And although that was reel to reel. So that has
I remember that.
Do you remember reel to reel?
Yeah, where you had to like sit and tape it, and like I love doing it, even though it got me nowhere. But just like sitting alone in the dark, taping things, with like cutting and taping, I was like, I could do this forever.
It was very satisfying. So I feel as if I feel like I am kind of writing for TV and on TV doing something. And I get to read a lot, and it's not just, I can read during the day and be like, hey, this is for my show.
You can write it off on your taxes.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
I was gonna say, like, it feels like, you said you were self-conscious of your voice, but here you are bringing it to the show, and here you are, like, you wanted to be a TV writer, but you are like writing and bringing so much creativity to it. Must be so fulfilling.
Thank you. Thank you. It is, and I measure success by if I'm enjoying it and I feel like it's going well. Like if I say, "Oh, that episode, yeah, I really like that." That's my measure of success. So I'm like, yeah, so I do have a successful show.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a great outlook. It's like really nice it's like refreshing to hear, like, I don't know, this is a hard town. Like LA is hard. And so just like seeing someone with your attitude, I'm just like, yeah, it's all about like, did we please ourselves? That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Well, just so I don't sound like, Buddha on the mountain, I've had years of therapy and I am medicated. So, so it all helps. It all helps.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. And so tell me about how you got into reading the genre of romance. You're a book lover. What was it about romance that you're like, this is it?
Well, my first romance that I ever read, I found in my 8th grade Catholic school library. And we're not talking about the library for the whole school, just the 8th grade had these bookcases. And my friends and I were voracious readers. We were at the top of our class. Everyone else was like, eh. So we were always looking for things to read. I didn't specifically, set out to look for romance, but when we got back there to the bookcase and we saw these enticing Harlequin romance covers, we're like, oh, let's dig into this. My only guess is why they were there is that Catholic schools love to take donations. So some mothers or maybe dads, who knows, donated a whole bunch of their books. Nobody looked through them and figured, why not?
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. So it was Danielle Steele and Harlequin were both in that library, and we just started perusing and, oh, this is titillating. Oh, what's going on? But of course, it was so chaste compared to what I read now. But
sure.
Yeah. So and that just kind of set me on that yeah, I was not going to say trajectory because there it goes.
Trajectory. This sounded right to me. Multi-syllables, I'll take it.
So I was set on that course for reading romance. And then every Christmas, I would ask my mom for romance novels. She didn't care. My mom's a teacher. So is my dad. They're both retired. And my mom was like, hey, she's reading. So let her read what she wants. So yeah.
Yeah. So I see you have this beautiful behind you. You have your bookshelf with all of your books on display. It looks awesome.
Thank you.
What are some of your favorite genres and authors, and like, what's your go-to read?
That's a really good question. My taste shift so frequently. Right now, I am in a Victorian historical romance. I don't know, whirlwind, I guess you could say. Is that I've been reading a lot of that, and so far I've read, Elizabeth Everett, Joanna Shupe is Gilded Age, just a lot of historical romance, Joanna Lowell, Victorian, Sarah MacLean's new book, Bombshell, Victorian.
I'm so excited to read it, by the way.
Oh God, it's so good.
Okay.
So it's so right now I'm kind of in that headspace. As far as go-to authors, Tarzan behind me, Love in the Wild is a Tarzan retelling by Emma Castle. Anything Emma Castle writes, anything new, I buy her. She's like a go-to. Yeah, if you're into Tarzan, this is a really good retelling. No, seriously.
I used to read Tarzan erotica in college.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought this was this Emma Castle book.
No, I mean, I'm sure that's the first book that's thought out. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just someone's and then Tarzan, fucked their brains out and then put it online. Like, this was all online stuff. It wasn't I purchased it. I was just fascinated. I learned what the term one-handed read was. And then I was like, what's this? And then just lo and behold, on this internet, stumbled upon Tarzan erotica.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So you definitely like Love in the Wild. What else have I been doing? Yeah. Rom-coms, I'm getting really picky. There were people that were go-to that I don't go to
Yeah.
anymore because I don't know. I've been having, if it doesn't make me laugh, I'm like, this isn't a rom-com. So
I agree. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I understand that there's humorous situations, but rom-com has really been letting me down a little bit as of late. Obviously excluding any of the authors I've had on the show who have rom-coms, but just, other ones that I've read, like, so that's why I've been really digging into historical. Who is some other, Lyssa Kay Adams is usually a must read when she has a new book in the bromance series. I pick that up. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've been looking for something erotic.
Yeah.
I used to have go-to erotic romance authors, and I feel like a lot of them haven't been producing as much as they once did. So I don't know.
It's really interesting. Like one time a few times I was like looking up an author and looking at like some of the books they started out writing, and these were very erotic stuff. And then, they kind of found their voice, found their genre, but it's like very interesting to be like, oh my God, like this person who's like writing whatever, like wrote like Alice and the Three Wolves, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, geez, this is amazing.
Yeah. Alice and the Three Wolves. Is that
I don't
like
know.
is that because that sounded like something because there were some fairy tale erotic retellings.
There
So
was. What's the one where it's like Papa Bear's, his was too cold, and Mama Bear's porridge was too hot? That one.
Oh, Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
That one. I read an erotica of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but like Goldilocks was a woman and the Three Bears were all three like sexy men shifters who turn into bears. Like they have like the multi-partner polyamorous loves. I mean, it's 15 pages long and it was all sex, but I loved it.
Yeah, no, I dig that. Were they bears when they had sex?
No, they became humans. They were like sexy man humans. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Cause I have issues with some of the shape shifting, like having sex while they're shifted into, I don't know.
It's fucked. I don't like that either. Like, I feel like I wouldn't like it. Like, I wouldn't even want to, like, if I like was dating someone who was a shifter, like I would be like, I don't even want to like hang out with you while you're shifted. Like, be you. I don't know. It's like I think about it all the time because I think it'd be awesome personally to be a shifter, but to date a shifter, this is why I need to be in therapy more because it's like,
it's funny. At one point, I really wanted to see a unicorn shapeshifter romance. I feel as if for me, shapeshifter sex works best with females. Like I would rather see two female unicorn shapeshifters have sex together.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is just random. My brain is applesauce these days, but
whose isn't? Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like unicorn shapeshifters, I'd be willing to. When it's bears and wolves, I just start thinking it's especially wolves, it's too close to dogs, and that creeps me out.
I get it.
Tigers or anything feline, too close to cats. So I feel like a unicorn, although I guess that's close to a horse, but
it's like, but it doesn't exist. I mean, I know werewolves don't exist for real, guys. I know, but like unicorns are like, they don't exist. There's something like, it's like dragons, or aliens yet. So
yeah. Gives me a lot to think on.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And it's like I spend too much time thinking about getting mad at my shifter boyfriend that doesn't even exist yet. Or yet doesn't even exist at all.
Do you ever write romance, love stories, or romance? Because you do write, correct?
Yeah, I write. I do like comedy writing and stuff, and like comedy performing and stuff. I have tried to write when the pandemic first started. I had nothing to do, and besides this, and would take requests from friends to write like erotica from them. So I did try to write erotica. It's hard. I mean, they were 10 pages long. And I'm like, this is hard. And I'm like, I don't know how. Do you ever write erotica or romance?
Oh God, I have a love-hate relationship with writing. Long story short is I've done more playwriting
Okay.
Than novel writing. Novel writing is one of those things I have a real mental block. So I have sketched out ideas and kind of outlines for romance. Rom-coms that make you laugh though.
Yeah.
But I just don't have, I don't know, the confidence, the motivation, whatever it is to take it to the next step where I'm actually just writing paragraphs. So I've done outlines and I've had dreams of entire romance novels, including sex scenes. I'm like, remember it when you wake up, remember when you wake up. And then when I wake up, I'm like, I remember it, but that was shit. So I don't know. I've written more romance novels in my sleep.
Sure. I've written more romance novels in my head when, like, you're just like zoning out and you're like, that should be that and this should be that. Like, wouldn't that be cool if it were that? And then it's like,
Yeah.
then like after like 3 hours later, you're like, okay, here's what the book would be. And then it's like, I'm never gonna write this.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I
Yeah.
know.
So should we, I'm so excited to talk about this book with you.
Yeah, I've got notes I highlighted in my tablet.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I was actually doing a discussion with you on my own in my head in my
Mhm.
shower. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good thing. I'll mention that. I'm
Oh,
like,
perfect. Because I
yeah,
haven't, no,
okay. Oh, right.
I've done no prep. No, I'm kidding.
And I was like, oh yeah, Becky will think that's funny. Oh yeah, I'll say that. And I was like, what if she doesn't think it's funny? And then it's just then I'd be like,
Oh my God. I'm going to think it's funny. I literally love everything. And, yes. And it's like, no, but it's also like, when you were talking about like, you thinking that you have to do this in order to do that. Like, I think that's like a theme in the book, you know what I mean? Of like wanting to get ahead in a certain career and other people telling her she has to do this. But let me read a quick synopsis. So the book that Liz and I reviewed is called Level Up, a Geek Girl Romance by Kathy Yardley, and it is currently $3.99. So here is a synopsis. For aspiring gaming engineer Tessa, it's not just Ready Player One, it's 2, 3, 4, and many more. Vying for a promotion at her gaming job, Tessa seeks advice from her sexy and supportive roommate and coworker, Adam. He tells her that she needs to connect with people more so everyone can see how awesome she is. She's up for the challenge, but the one obstacle she didn't expect was that she and Adam have the hots for each other. With everything at stake, are the two ready to press start at a relationship, or is it game over before they even give love a chance?
that's great. I love when you read the synopsises. That always
Thank
gives me.
you.
I'm so excited to have experienced this live. Really, you have such a great voice, and you write up those synopsises yourself, don't you?
do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that that's difficult to do. I don't know if anyone has ever given you credit, but I think you do such a wonderful job, and it's hard to do.
I think it's harder, honestly. Well, I've never written a novel. I imagine that's harder than writing the novel. I just think writers out there. So thank you.
Yes, no, I do. I appreciate that. Yeah, level up.
Level Up. So this was, I guess, a rom-com. I don't know why I always consider contemporary romances comedic. Like, I'm like, oh, it's a rom-com, but it's not. It's like, this is like a geek romance.
Yeah. I think that most people would classify this as a rom-com just because it's quirky. I would just classify this as a contemporary romance. I would even go so far as to say, and I don't even know if this category exists anymore, but a new, I was gonna say new age. Oh my God, not new age. What's the one after
Like,
white? New adult.
New adult, yeah.
New adult. I was thinking more new adult.
I thought that too, because like it just felt like they felt so young to me, just like the way they lived. Like they had, not that older people don't have roommates, but like they have roommates and they're eating pizza, and they all the characters felt like they were in college to me.
Yeah, it's It was a little off-putting just because, I mean, well, it felt kind of forced. Like this author was told, hey, you need to write a book that's going to appeal to younger people. So she kind of described what she thought people that age were doing. That's how I felt.
I think the one thing that I was like, oh, maybe they're not that young was when they're not roommates in an apartment. They're roommates in a house which he has a mortgage on. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I had to take a step back on that one. I said, wait a second, I don't understand. So I spent way too much time trying to figure out, okay, now how would this guy be able to afford a house? Then I'm like, wait, did his parents give him money? He just bought it. Was it dilapidated and he got a deal? Mm-hmm. I mean, there was some inconsistencies with their behavior and how old and responsible they were.
Yes.
And, it seemed a little odd.
Yeah. And like, I get the idea. Like, I think the appeal of this book is that it's nerds or geeks, and like, it's about nerds. Mm-hmm. And I think that like, I mean, do you consider yourself a nerd, like, or a geek, or like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I consider myself a nerd for certain things. Like, I'm a horror movie nerd. I am I am a research nerd. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I researched the story. I researched the song that you use for your show, the beginning and the ending.
Oh, yeah, the free song I got online, so no one sees me.
Well, that's very smart. Mm-hmm. But I would catch myself singing it, like the last line about, I can't make my eyes behave. So I looked it up, found out it was written in 1906, and the name of so I consider myself a research nerd, a horror movie nerd, and just like a book nerd. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like geek is more of a negative connotation.
Yeah. It was like, it's hard to tell because, like, I feel like whether you're a nerd or a geek, I think people there's this thing where people think there's a level of like immaturity. There's like an arrested development there. So it's like, oh, if you're nerdy about research, then you must live with your parent. Or you know what I mean? And it's like, no, nerd means like, or a geek, I suppose, means like you're passionate about a certain topic.
Right. And she made some of these characters, some of the supporting characters, like you said, kind of arrested development, where they were like, oh, like very collegey and, treating women not as you're used to reading these days in romance novels. This, I think, was published in 2016. And boy, what a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I do think it was interesting, like, they bring up consent, between the two characters. But I also think like the male side characters were like the type of guys who've like never spoken to a girl before, and we have to love them for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was right. Although then there was the one guy who was always asking girls out and wanted to hook up with them. So I was kind of interested in him. I'm like, oh, he goes a little bit against the stereotypical nerd stereotype, but he was just insufferable in other ways. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. Interesting. What did you think of all of the low stakes bets that were made throughout this novel?
So my first note that is on my computer right now is too many bets.
Yes, amounting to nothing.
I lost track of the bets. Like, there's like, basically like someone's like, hey, Adam, I bet you to get a girlfriend by the end of the year. And then like, they're like, hey, I bet you to like, if you help me do this, I bet you to dress up like that. And then there's a scene where she like comes dressed up, and I was like, wait, what? Oh
yeah. There were so many bets I was trying to keep track of. And the one that I cannot still wrap my mind around, I even asked my husband, can you explain TPing someone's house? Why would this cause such concern and fear in someone that they would want to get a girlfriend so that they don't have to pay the consequence, which is TPing this grumpy nerd guy's car, Abraham's truck?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's toilet paper. It's not like it's eggs where it's like annoying where you have to
No.
get a car wash. You just, yeah.
exactly. I was thinking, listen, if you want to level up, then you should be tossing some eggs at this guy's car. Never mind toilet paper,
Mhm.
unless you use the toilet paper. And that, like, that's the only, I was like, well, maybe this will get a little more sophisticated. And you see him peeing, or using the toilet and throwing. It's like, yeah, then you don't want,
That's a bet. But this, yeah, it felt like the bets were like, they were so low stakes, but the characters treated them as high stakes, like.
Yes. And then it was, what was the thing that Abraham, there's a whole code off scene. There's nothing more exciting than reading about people typing.
This was like a scene where Tessa is trying to develop this like game on her own in order to help her friends and also to help her like get ahead at work to possibly get this, engineering job. And so she, again, like with Adam's half support, I would say, gets like her, her male coworkers, and they like are arguing like it, like, which I think it brings up a good point of like guys think, just the politics of, working in an office with men. So then anyway, there's like a code off, and it's like this high stakes, like it was like the pod racing thing in Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yes. And the, what was it? If Abraham, this grumpy guy who didn't want Tessa on the team, if he loses the code off, he has to then clean Adam and Tessa's house.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I mean,
but wasn't there something where he had to dress up like something and then she did too?
Was that a separate bet? Or was it the same bet? It was like, oh yeah, he has to also dress like Sailor Moon. I don't know how this author was able to mention Sailor Moon without getting sued. I just would think that Sailor Moon is litigious, but
I mean, listen, she's power of friendship, and maybe she was like, great.
It was, it's, I mean, the one thing I did like, you did mention about the guys not wanting, kind of looking down on, oh, you're a girl, like you can't code like us, like that. I felt like, okay, I dig that they're exploring this. And then to get them to help her, she's like, okay, I'll dress like a sexy Sailor Moon. I'm like, I feel like that's not the best thing. I think she should have fought for something different to do. Because then,
and I think like, backing up a little bit, I didn't like Adam's advice to begin with of her being like, what should I do to, get ahead at work? And he wasn't like, work hard, step up. It was like, get more friends. And it was like, what? Like,
yeah. Well, I guess that's the reason I'm always underemployed. I guess I don't have enough friends, because that was the answer to everything is, oh, you have to be more social. So you know what? I'm going to go back just a little bit further, because this ties in. The people, I hate when supporting characters, friends or roommates or someone close to the protagonist is always like, you know what? You're not doing life right. You have to get out more. You have to get a boyfriend. You have to do this. And the protagonists do it. And nothing annoys me more. That is a huge pet peeve, because if my fucking friends told me, hey, Liz, I'd be like, hey, get out of here. Right. Yeah. But my friends don't, because I have good friends. But the friends that are in these novels are often like the impetus for change. But I think it's insulting.
Yeah, because I feel like it's like this judgment from the friends of their friends. Great. I like if a character doesn't have friends, I'm always like, hang on a second. But it's great that they have friends. But when the friends like are kind of like in a plot way perpetuating some type of judgment of like, you're 25 years old and you don't have a husband, and it's like, whoa, back up, everyone. What is the author saying about this? What is the reader what does the reader think about this? What does the world think about this? And I totally get that.
We open, it's funny, I guess I'll just go back to the opening line now, but I mentioned that because her friend, it opens with her like video calling with the friend, and the friend is this hornball who's like, oh, Tessa, you got to, get laid. And the other thing is it starts with it's Boxing Day.
Yeah.
So at first I thought it was in England.
I did too.
Okay, you did too? Okay.
I 100% too. I thought like, oh, is this remember that show Spaced with Simon Pegg and oh my
No.
God, I'm forgetting the woman's name but
Okay.
it was just like it was like they were nerdy roommates and I was like, oh, I wonder if this was
Oh.
inspired by that. And so I thought all of the towns they mentioned, I was like, oh, this must be in England, but then
Right.
Seattle.
I didn't know it was Seattle till 3/4 into the book.
Yeah.
They were naming all of these Sachakachi, I don't know, these places. I was like, are they making this shit up? Like, are these real places? And I was going to look it up, but I was like, I don't feel like it. But I was like, oh, eventually they'll tell me where this is. Well, it wasn't until almost, the end when I stopped caring. Then I was like, oh, so it's in Seattle. Okay.
Yeah. And I was, because I had because sometimes I'll like highlight things. I'll be like, I'll look this up later. And then I highlighted one of them. And then I was like, oh, wait, we're in Seattle? And like, which like kind of makes sense. Like, I'm going to sound like an idiot, but like, isn't like Seattle and like, the kind of like the Pacific Northwest, like Silicon Valley, that's where gaming is. So it kind of makes sense. Like, then I was like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, no, it kind of made sense. Although I would have thought Portland would have been more in line with it than Seattle. Seattle, I just think of coffee and grunge rock. That's where my mind is. So when they said Seattle, I was like, okay, well, it's in the Pacific Northwest. So I guess I kind of get it. But I think it should have been in, northern or more central California.
Yeah,
or
like Silicon Valley, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Or yeah.
Yeah. And what I wanted to say is if you want to be a gaming engineer so badly, maybe you should move.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like, and the thing is that she gets offered that position.
First, can I just go ahead?
Oh, no, go ahead. And I spoiled it. She doesn't take the position. But anyway, go ahead.
She doesn't. That's yeah. Spoilers. I don't care. Well, it all comes out today. Oh geez, what was I going to say? She, wants the promotion. She keeps saying how driven she is. And in my opinion, she just kept getting everyone to do work for her.
She did. Yeah. It was, and like, yes. And like, I understand, like, she did show some like initiative, like she did do some work on her own, but like, she was to get what she wants, she was so beholden to all these like coworkers that like, really?
Well, I mean, I want to know, is that real? Is that authentic? I'm not familiar with that industry. Maybe you do have to rely so heavily on teamwork and relationship building to get stuff done because everyone has a specialty. I don't know. I have no idea.
But I think the thing is that like, it was like, are there no other female coders that at different companies, that you could like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, it was just like, oh, it has to be this guy's. And then here's another thing I didn't like about what Adam said, because her first person that she goes to help make this game is Adam.
Yeah.
And he says, I won't help unless you get the rest of the guys on board. And I was like, yeah, you, Adam.
Yeah. That was not cool. And I almost feel like the author might have written Adam at two different, like wrote parts of him and then stopped for 6 months and went back to him, because I felt sometimes like he was a little inconsistent in his behaviors. And like, he's like, I want to do everything to help you. But then he says something like that, where he's, oh, well, as long as you get everybody else on board. So I was like, what is it with this guy?
Yeah, like, what is it with him? Like, and he was just like, he was like in this story, in this world, he was like the all-wise Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? Like, he had the answers to everything, but his answers were dumb.
Yeah, no, they were dumb. The only thing that saved him in my eyes was the hot kisses, which I did not expect. Yeah. I did not expect the level of sexiness and chemistry between Tessa and Adam. I was like, okay, this feels like a different author just walked in and started writing these scenes.
Yeah. I loved this. I mean, there was like, I feel like there wasn't enough, maybe. I mean, it was a short book, but the heat in it and the sexiness, I was like, it's like one of the reasons why I liked the book, was
Yes.
just like, oh, this this is a geek, but he like he talks so sensually to her, and like
Mhm.
I loved it.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, that saved it for me too.
Mhm.
And the whole naked Netflix marathon visual that they gave, I was like, all right. I'm like, I'm digging this. And for as wallflowery as the author tried to paint Tessa, she
Mhm.
actually wasn't. She was good to go. She was like, oh yeah. Even, what's it, taking the initiative and kissing him for a
Mhm.
random contrived reason, but whatever, she was, given as good as she got. So,
Yeah, and she was
yeah,
like feisty. Like I feel like, I
yeah,
mean, he's Adam's like, oh, you're so introverted, blah blah blah. But when like injustice is happening, whether it's at the restaurant or at the office, she speaks up, and it's like, what more do you want? Like she's an awesome person.
right. Yes, yes, yeah. That's good point.
Mhm.
Yeah. The one thing that I feel like it was so contrived and kind of ridiculous is that Tessa was the nerd savior nobody asked for,
Mhm.
because she meets this group of girls because Adam says, hey, you got to make friends, you got to be social. So she decides to test the waters and accepts the invitation for I guess the office manager is a woman. She's like, oh, come hang out with my friends. And Tessa does. She immediately loves these people who want to save this bookstore that's going out of business. And Tessa's like, okay, I'll build a video game so you can win this contest to get these actors from this show we like to appear at your bookstore, and then you'll be able to make enough sales to keep the bookstore. I was like, well, there's a lot of faulty logic in that plan.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
Very, very. And these girls don't ask her to do it. They don't even follow up and say, hey, Tessa, do you have an update?
Yes.
They do nothing on their own, independently of Tessa, to save this bookstore.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, Tessa's gonna do it, and they're not like going to the bank asking for loans, like seeing what they
No,
could do, starting a
no.
Patreon. It was
Yes.
like it was almost like, honestly, like it was like little kid logic in a way of like, if we
Mm-hmm.
write enough letters to so and so, they'll come and visit the mall, and then or whatever. It was kids logic.
You're absolutely right. It reminded me of, I don't know if I'm dating myself here, but back in the day when they would have radio contests, they used to do this in the Bronx. Hey, if we get enough people from your school to call in, new kids on the block are going to come and perform at your school.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like Bye Bye Birdie almost. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. So, I mean, I don't know. Not that it was a poorly written book, but I feel like it was not well planned, or it seemed like kind of it missed its mark with whatever it was trying to accomplish.
Yeah, it was just
Um,
this overly complicated stuff. And
yeah.
here's the thing, I would have enjoyed the book if it was just like, oh, like if we didn't need the contest, we didn't need we didn't I
Mhm.
don't think we even needed her like doing this thing of I have to be more extroverted. Like I think start with her and her friends and they're in this bind, and then make it focus it on, her work thing. But with like she has her, making new friends, and then the work thing, and then you have Adam, and then Adam has his ex-girlfriend thing, which like again, it was like it was just, I don't know, it was just like this added in like spice to a meal that you didn't need.
Right, right. And it's times like this, I wonder, is this the editor fucking around with the script and saying you need to hit these beats, X, Y, and Z need to happen? Or did the author write herself into a corner where
Mhm.
she had to then do crazy things to get this plot to go in a certain direction? There was so much I know it's, the more you read, don't you see that you're like, oh, they could have done this and that. And it
I
would
know.
it's almost like reading is almost ruining reading for me, because
Yeah. Mhm.
I agree wholeheartedly with you that you didn't need all this. That's why I think it was written with younger audiences in mind,
Yeah. Mhm.
who maybe don't expect what we expect as far as sophisticated plots. Like, I think this was supposed to be the funny part of it, is that there's all these things going on, you know?
And it was all like, and it's like, oh, what do young people do? I guess they dare each other.
They
Like,
dare.
you know what I mean?
Those dares really piss me off because nobody does that. Nobody.
Yeah. No one does that. I mean, like, one of the questions I was gonna ask is like, have you ever like done a dare that you like remember? Because I don't.
You know, I was always the little, troublemaker who would say to someone, oh, I did, I'll dare you to do that, or, whatnot. But, not that I would hold it against them or have weird consequences, but I'd be kind of an instigator when it came to things like that. And like my husband and I, we have like friendly bets. I'm like, I betcha that your so-and-so is going to do this on that day. And he's, as friendly bet. So we say, okay, friendly bet. Sometimes it's for money, but I only accept the money. I usually don't pay if I lose. But yeah, I mean, as far as the level that these kids that these adults went through to do these bets, like, oh, this is the solemn, oh yes, you can't squelch on this bet. It's like, what is this, 1942?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're as good as your word. Oh, don't you squelch. Like, that to me is like old timey, like, don't squelch on that bet.
Yeah, I agree. And the bets, like the bets with like the dressing up like Sailor Moon, that made me, again, it was written 2016, it's 2021 now. And it's like Sailor Moon is a character that is ultimately sexualized.
Yeah.
He's wearing, the guy is like ha ha ha, you gotta wear a girl's outfit, and it's like
yeah, I felt a little yucky, to be honest, with the whole Sailor Moon thing. And I understand it was supposed to be sexy and they were supposed to be viewing her in a different way, although I don't really know if that's the way we wanted them to view her.
Yeah.
I have a cousins who were into Sailor Moon, so I immediately think about them looking at Sailor Moon and then this chick dressing up in the Sailor Moon costume. But I think the Sailor Moon costume was supposed to then highlight the skills of her new friend who had designed that costume.
Yes. But
still, it could have been a different character. Speaking of character costumes, who the fuck is Molly Hooper? She dresses, Tessa goes to a party and dresses as Molly, is it Hooper or Cooper? Molly Hooper. And I said, I spent so much time looking it up because I said, oh, this must be someone from a fandom I should know. Well, there is no Molly Hooper, so I don't know.
Yeah, so it's so funny because like I was like, okay, like they talk about like when we're meeting the characters that she's watching Supernatural, we've got Sailor Moon, we've got like they actually name check like real things, but then their main thing is this show called The Mystics. And I thought, oh, this must be, I should have looked this up, this must be a sci-fi show. But then as they were getting like more into it, of like it does become this important thing about like, because the game they're making is based on the Mystics, and so I was like, oh, wait, maybe the Mystics isn't a real thing. I wonder if I thought Molly Hooper was like from the Mystics or whatever.
I realized later on that any fandom term I didn't understand must be part of this Mystics universe. And right. So Molly Hooper, but the way it was just thrown in the paragraph, and then they allude to, oh yeah, she had to wear a lab coat. I'm like, okay, so Molly Hooper's some kind of scientist, probably from some show they watch. And I understand the importance of introducing Mystics in this first book. There's 6 books in this series.
Yeah, and the second one is about one of the Mystic stars.
Yes, which actually I thought that sounded a lot more interesting.
I kind of want to read it.
That sounded a little bit more interesting. I would love, and I don't know if she gets her own book or not, but the agoraphobic sister, Cressida.
Yeah, she was like my favorite character. She's not even in it. She's hiding in her room. And I was like, she needs a love story.
Oh my God, I so very much want to read that because I have never read about an agoraphobic. How does an agoraphobic find love? I want to know.
Same.
I thought that was, you're right. I was so captivated by Cressida. And then they made it sound like we've got to save the bookstore, because if the bookstore gets closed, Cressida then has to move.
Doesn't leave her room.
So I just imagine bulldozers coming in to tear it down while she's just like in a corner. I mean, it was dramatic. So I'm like, well, couldn't you just put a bag over her head so she doesn't know she's outside and then move her somewhere else?
Yeah, I like, honestly, when they said that like Cressida didn't leave her room, like honestly, my first thought was like woman in the attic. Like I just pictured like she's in the attic of the bookstore wearing like an old-timey nightgown, carrying one candle, and it's just like, Father doesn't let me leave the room anymore. Like, I hope someone pays me my fish heads. Like,
I love it. Yes, Cressida captured my imagination. But wait a second, am I correct? Because didn't she then show up in a scene where she was downstairs with everyone?
she does show up eventually, like when like
Okay.
things are good, like she does come out of her room, but when you first meet her, she's just again this like
Yeah.
woman who won't leave.
Yeah, she's like just haunting the upstairs. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just, fascinated by her, and I was kind of hoping that the agoraphobic Cressida would get in a romance with Abraham the Grump,
That would be
because I thought
awesome.
that could be explosive.
That would be awesome. Like I think like Abraham, just in terms of like Abraham is a character who like I think represents the patriarchy, and to see him come down to his knees by an
Yeah.
agoraphobic woman would be like the smashing of the patriarchy that would be so satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I might look at the other book descriptions for the rest
Mhm.
of the series, because maybe they are put together.
I hope so. I mean, I think like, yeah, I would have like I was like either all the guys in the office are gonna have their things, or all the girls in the bookstore are gonna have their things.
Right.
Hopefully both. I assumed it was the female. I was always like hoping, because like what's really nice about it is that like it was nice seeing really geeky girls, you
Yes.
know.
I agree. I enjoyed, although it's still difficult to understand what they do, because it's just like, oh, she's typing now.
Mhm.
But I did see, Tessa actively participate in, this world of coding. She wants to be an engineer. She has an opportunity. She presents herself well at the meeting with these unsavory, I guess, gaming characters. So yeah, I did appreciate her. I wanted more on her family background, because she is a person of color. I believe she's Hispanic. And
Mhm.
she mentions about in her family how they looked down on her pursuing this career. And I was like, well, that's interesting to kind of find out more of where her family's coming from and their hopes for her as a woman of color. So I actually wanted, but now if this book was rewritten now, I bet it would explore more about her background and her
Sure.
struggles.
Yeah, because it is like like she is all alone. You know what I mean? Like she like goes against her family, and or not goes against her family, but she does something that she's like, in a way isolating herself from her family, and it doesn't really explore like there could be a loneliness there even if you
Yeah,
are on good terms, just
right.
having this rift. And that's something that could be so interesting to explore, especially with
Yes.
like the industry she's in and the culture she's from and like all that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like some of the important issues were kind of danced around, which again, I attribute that to it being published in 2016. And
Mhm.
also, again, I think it had to have been for a younger audience, because I didn't connect to a lot of the shenanigans.
Me neither.
Um, but I thought that it was surprisingly sexy, and it worked.
Yeah. What did you think about like their first kiss is like she like I think like Adam is with all the girls helping them out. It's in a restaurant, and
Yeah.
this dude is like dissing on him, and he's like, I'm not gay or whatever. And
Yeah.
so and she's like, yeah, and I'll prove it. And she kisses him. And I thought that whole scene was not even 2016. It was like 1995, like
Yes. Yeah.
very weird.
I do agree. First of all, it seemed out of place. It didn't seem like it was really necessary. The teasing that the ribbing that this guy that they know was, and the insults he was directing at Adam, it did feel like an old time, almost like like an 80s horror film where there's the cool guy, dissing the nerdy guy or the less popular guy, and then eventually, there's mayhem and violence later. But it seems so kind of cheesy, like the way he did it, and it was so just didn't feel real.
Yeah, it was very weird because it's like we all know that like this guy is homophobic and he's the one literally the entire world should be shitting on. Like,
right.
We know that like that's not the status quo anymore. I would have loved to see just all of them not having to kiss, not having just like the whole restaurant.
Right.
Shitting on that one guy.
Right. Well, that's just it. It's almost like she had no other recourse but to try to disprove this guy by kissing him. It's like, no, you don't have to prove anything. Like her solution was a less enlightened solution. So it's not a novel that holds up today.
Yeah, and which is so crazy weird given because I feel like sometimes it still feels like it's 2016. Like I'll read a book that was published years ago and I'll be like, whoa, this is really progressive.
Yeah. That whole it did intrigue me though, because I'm like, oh well, Tessa isn't the type of character I think she is, because look at this daring thing she did, even though I don't agree that that was the answer. But I was like, oh, this could be interesting. But then she would go back kind of like to being, really inside of herself, into herself. And then she would do something else that was bold and, daring. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's kind of, those inconsistencies are actually consistent with human nature. It's like 1 minute you're doing this, but it's still, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they bring up the idea, like when like Tessa kiss, like they bring up the idea of consent in that way of like, oh, she did this really brave thing of she kissed him to prove this homophobe wrong or whatever. And then she's like, you didn't consent. And then he's like, yeah, I know. It feels like it was an issue they danced around that could have been really interesting. Like it could have like, because I feel like in the 80s, right? If we saw that scene, we would have been like, yeah, go Tess. But now it's like 2016 or 2021. And it's like, whoa, that's like kind of she violated him, to use the term. And it was weird. It was weird because they didn't have a mature conversation about consent. I mean, being the author broached the topic between the two of the characters, I thought it was going to be a very mature, very succinct, thing. And I felt like it was just like, it didn't, it wasn't a mature conversation. It didn't seem to really amount to anything. And again, I think this is a situation where that was squeezed into the book after the first draft, and the editor might have been like, hey, consent is becoming more of an issue now, so why don't you do that? And she didn't know how, so she just made it like really awkward between the two of them. It's like, oh, I guess it's okay, right? Yeah. And it's like, I mean, again, I'm talking like I can write a book, I can't write a book, but it's just like, why don't you you might need to change a little bit more, you don't add in something that just like, I mean, granted, she could add it in and it could be interesting if you really explore it, but like it was just this weird dance. I mean, like I feel like consent is a long conversation.
Yeah.
It's not 3 lines in a hallway, and
right. And I don't know, I don't recall her feeling like, who was it who even started the conversation? Because I felt like they felt they needed to say it to each other, but neither one really cared too much.
That's exactly it. She started it because she was like, like once she grabs him and kisses him, but once the kiss happens, it's the romance novel kissing where it's like, yeah, this is the perfect whatever. You get the paragraph or whatever. But then it becomes back to reality in a way of like, I just grabbed you and kissed you, and I would have hated if someone did that to me. I would have hated that. And then he's like, well, I didn't mind. And then they start kissing again, and it was like,
right. I thought she should have led with, oh my God, I'm so sorry. to have done that. You did not, but she didn't like, there was
She
no
didn't
apology.
apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, well, I want to acknowledge this happened because I don't want you to think poorly of me,
Mhm.
but I'm not really sorry. So let's make out.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
weird and like
Yeah, it was.
yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah, it
once
was.
they did get like I was like, yeah, like once we got
Yeah.
like it was like the first kiss is weird, but then like or like the first sentence of the kiss is weird, but then you're just like you're going full force and I'm like, yeah, getting
Yeah,
on
no,
you two young people.
absolutely. I mean, they made good use of the whole one, let's say forced proximity because there was some kind of storm, the
Mhm.
whole one bed, only one bed. So there was some good use of solid tropes. And I found, I got the tingles. So
Oh,
I was like,
sure.
yeah, I was like, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'd like to see more of this and less of all the other characters that she did this big character dump that we have all these
Mhm.
characters in this book and it's just really just starts setting them up for the other installments in the series.
Right. And it's like we really like we're not reading it for those characters. Like we're reading it for the two of them.
Yeah.
And I understand like, first book you got to set up the world. This is why cuz like when Jeannie and I were talking we were like is the
Mhm.
second book always better than the first book? Like I
Yes.
would imagine the second book is better than I mean I know Christina's book is going to be the best one. We already know even if it doesn't exist yet. But you know what I mean? Like I just like
Yeah.
feel like okay, it just felt like this book had so much to set up and it did it in like, what this is under 300 pages, and
I
yeah.
didn't feel I spent so many days reading this. I was like, man, because I read it on my tablet and I just,
Mhm.
I see percentage and some crazy like 3,000 number. And it's like, oh, that's not, equivalent to pages.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh my God, this book must be like 350 pages because I felt like it was more of a slog than I had expected.
I agree. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, and then there was some parts that I was like, okay, let me see. Oh, now we're getting into the sexy stuff.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, now we're back to all the characters in
In
the Nerd
the
Patrol
yeah.
and Abraham
Yeah.
truck. That's all I kept thinking of is toilet papering Abraham's truck.
It's so weird. Who toilet paper? And it's like weird now that we went through a pandemic where it was like there was this huge shortage of toilet paper, and it's like you irresponsible fucks. Like,
I
why would
know.
you do that?
I now when we look at the toilet paper, like, oh, don't you waste that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And it's like
no.
it's scary. It's like I get nervous when I use like a bunch of square, like,
Yeah, no joke. I mean, I'm famous for using way more toilet paper than I need and clogging up toilets.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Which is a whole other story.
Mhm.
But the toilet paper dare would have done well in a book set during the quarantine because it would have been like, you've got to secure 7,000 rolls and then
Mhm.
toilet paper the truck. And then it's this, Adam trying to, you know, beating up old ladies to try to get toilet paper to fulfill his end of the bargain if he loses. So
Now,
that could
yeah.
have been more interesting,
Mhm.
but
That would
not,
have been yeah.
yeah, but
Not
not,
just like some sophomoric dare that like we've seen. Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. We've seen the toilet TPing things
Mhm.
before. And I will say that the final climactic I love you moment in this book is something we've seen before. It literally takes place at an airport.
The airport thing, I was like, oh, okay.
That's all
Like,
what I said.
yeah, it's like, oh, okay. So because that is a trope most people don't mention. It's the whole it's the grand gesture, but
Mhm.
it's in an airport, which is okay. Like at that point, I kind of just was ready for them to be together and
Mhm.
live their life. So I was like, all right, it's in an airport, fine. Let's get this over with, guys.
Yeah, yeah, that and like there was still like the side, like these like they do the kiss, and then you see like the quirky extra have the one line of like you get them, Sonny. Like,
Yes. I wonder if this author is a screenwriter because I think she is lives in Southern California or something. So
oh,
she
I
she
wonder.
she might because I thought, oh, she ripped this off of some like any movie, any rom-com movie. Like it felt like a ripoff. But again, I was like, let's just get this done.
Yeah, and they did, and they
They
did.
did. And the last line of the story I highlighted because
Okay.
It sounds as if they were going to go on to explore anal sex.
It did. Yeah.
Do
Wait,
you,
what?
do you know what I'm talking? Okay,
I remember thinking that. Yeah. Hang
I
on.
have it highlighted.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Here we go. She's like, I have it highlighted in pink. Oh, this is the epilogue. That was another thing. It didn't need an epilogue. It could have just been like chapter 23, but I digress.
And it wasn't a sexy epilogue.
No, it was. Oh, it was the toilet paper epilogue.
It was the toilet paper. We didn't. And I was like, oh yeah, they had a bet.
Yeah, we had to get that shit in before.
Yeah. Okay, read the last line.
He turned to Tessa, he being Adam. He turned to Tessa. You saved my butt, he said. Yeah, well, it's a cute butt, she said, pinching him and winking. And I have plans for it later.
Good for them.
And I was like, oh, so now you're getting really saucy. I just thought that was I don't know. The way it ended was like it almost as if there should be another chapter then.
It was
so we could say
it was so abrupt because like I was like, oh, are we gonna get like a hot pegging scene that, or whatever? But it was just like this epilogue to a plot line that like I don't think anyone cared about. Like we care about the two of them.
Right. The epilogue should have just been some kind of anal sex bacchanalia.
Yes. Yeah. Come on. Like there was only like one real like sex scene, which was like detailed sexy, which again was hot and I loved it. I believe their chemistry. There could have been more.
There could have been more, and the bets should have been sexual. Like, oh, I bet you can't fit that inside me. Right? That would have been a nice ending to this thing. But like, oh, I have plans for you later, and he's like, I bet you can't fit. I don't know, a rolling pin inside of me. I don't know. I bet you can't.
Whatever they want. Yeah.
I bet you can't fit this inside. Just something. Yeah, I don't. It was kind of a saucy line that I felt should be followed up with an action.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah, and I feel like because didn't Sarah say on the show that like her like writing the last line was always harder than writing the first line of a book, and so that made me think. I was like,
yes,
I wonder if the author ran into that too, of just like I gotta wrap this up. Like
and you could tell which authors struggle with a last line because it just sounds almost like they just threw something out there just to end it. And then there was something like, oh, that felt good. It was like,
it's like you did it. It was clever. No one's gonna like. I mean, I feel like for the most part, like when things are wrapping up, you're wrapping up. Like it's like no one's really gonna like remember the last line. But when it does work, it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, that's a bookend.
Right. I almost envision like that drop the mic moment. Like, okay, got that's a great line. Drop the mic. And there you go.
Like even like there was one that I read recently where the guy like in it like someone says she says she loves him and he kind of freaks out and just says cool, and then there's like a thing at the end, and so at the end when like they say I love you, and then it's like cool, and it's like cool, that's a callback, it's very, very clever.
I love a good callback. And if this was believed to be a rom-com, a callback would have been a perfect way to end it. I think the callback should have been an ending with a bet. Another stupid bet. It should have been like, I bet you this, I bet you that. Because that was all about bets.
It's all about bets. Oh my goodness. All about bets. Okay, so do you have any final thoughts and a rating? As how many levels? 10 levels, it's a great. 1 level, it's really bad.
My closing, actually I have a closing question. Have you ever had an author contact you because they didn't like what you said about their novel?
That's never happened to me. No.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, I don't know if that's good or bad, because if they did contact you, it means that they listened to the show, which is always good to know.
Yeah. It's always, I mean, I feel like no. Yeah, that's never happened. Has that happened to you or like?
No. I try very hard to not say anything that could be remotely construed as negative.
Me too. Yeah. And I feel like for like as much like, ribbing as we do, like I feel like we love the genre. Like I feel like my one thing is like I like when I was like first starting out and I was like getting like, guests who I didn't know like new romance. I was like, we can like make fun of the book, but don't make fun of romance. You know what I mean? Like that's my one rule, and that's how like I feel like maybe why like watch this author, contact me and being like, I hated what you said. But like, so knock on wood. But yeah. So I always feel like, oh, there's like we do it with respect because like authors are putting their work out there. People are gonna have opinions, like there's people wrote bad reviews about Too Stupid, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, I think they did, or they voted 0 stars on whatever. And it's like, okay, I think it was my parents and they messed up and they meant to do 5 stars. I don't know how to fix it. That's what I like to say.
That could very well be.
Yeah.
As far as, I mean, obviously, aside from the criticisms that I shared, it wasn't badly written. There was sexiness. I'm gonna give this out of 10 levels, I'm gonna give it 5 levels, which is kind of in the middle. I'm gonna give it 5.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do like 6.5 just because I was rooting for them. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, I feel like, am I rooting? Like, if there are books that I've read where I'm like, these two shouldn't be together. Like, they just shouldn't be together. That's like 0 points. But like, I yearned for them,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree. I was on their side. Yeah. Maybe I should say 5.25.
No, you stick by your rating.
Okay, 5 levels. 5 levels.
5 out of 10 levels. Well, Liz, this was so much fun. I am so glad that you were a guest today. Like, oh my God, I'm so glad we got to meet and you're so awesome.
Oh my God, you're so wonderful. And my only disappointment in doing the show is that I probably won't listen to all of my own episode. I still look forward to listening to the new episodes. I was like, oh, the next new episode might be mine. I don't want to listen to myself again.
No.
But thank you. You are a delight. I feel as if I knew you coming into this. I am truly a fan of the show. I binge it constantly. I'm trying to listen to every single episode you have. Keep up the great work.
Thank you too.
Yes, thank you. And maybe I'll see you around sometime in LA.
Too Stupid to Live is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. It includes so many great podcasts, including this one.
Hey, babe!
I'm Michael.
And I'm Robbie.
And we're the hosts of K-Bae,
a podcast where we watch Korean dramas.
And then we talk about them.
Part of the Frolic Podcast Network.
We are perpetual newbies to K-dramas, but we love them.
Join us every week as we recap and react to a K-drama episode by episode.
And wrap up each episode by delving into the fan fiction and boys love comics we've been reading.
Tune in for frequent tangents.
Gay stuff.
2 thirsty hosts.
Really gay stuff.
And 0 expertise and very little research.
Whether you watch the shows or not, come hang with us and laugh over all the camp, romance, and serial killers that K-dramas have to offer.
K-bye!
For more podcasts you'll love, visit frolic.media/podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.